Want to transform your channel? Here's your challenge. Create just one video this week where you completely surrender the outcome to God and focus solely on sharing His message of grace. I did this as a last-ditch effort when my channel was sinking amid mounting doubts. I was blown away by the results. Not only did that video outperform everything I'd ever created, but the comment section filled with people saying, "This was exactly what I needed today." Could the key to growing your channel be less about chasing trends and more about chasing God's heart? Let's find out together. Ever notice how most Christian content online feels like it's trying way too hard? I mean, scrolling through YouTube, you can almost feel the desperation coming through the screen. And listen, I get it, because I was absolutely that creator not too long ago. Let me take you back about 2 years when I first started my channel. I was so excited to share my faith journey and help others grow closer to God. I'd read all the YouTube playbooks, watched countless growth strategy videos, and followed every expert tip, from eye-catching thumbnails with shocked expressions to titles with all caps and crazy promises. I chased trending topics with a faith spin because that's what supposedly worked. And you know what happened? Crickets. Complete silence. My videos barely hit double-digit views, and I was totally confused. I was doing everything right according to the YouTube experts. I had faith content, but packaged in ways the algorithm supposedly loved. But one restless night during prayer, everything shifted. I felt this uncomfortable, gut-punching revelation. I was obsessively checking analytics instead of focusing on genuine ministry. Here I was talking about surrendering to God while frantically trying to control every outcome. I preached about heavenly treasures while refreshing my earthly statistics hourly. The contradiction was painful. So many faith-based creators struggle with this same issue. We measure spiritual impact using worldly metrics, views, likes, subscriber counts, trying to quantify something that was never meant to be quantified. I remember making a video about finding peace during difficult times. Instead of sharing what God had genuinely taught me, I titled it, 5 Shocking Ways to Find Instant Peace. You won't believe number 3. I added dramatic music, over-edited transitions, and forced high energy because that's what YouTube gurus recommended. The actual message got completely lost beneath my desperate attempts to be relevant and cool. What I've come to understand is that God's metrics for success look completely different. His view count might be that single person whose heart was exactly where it needed to be to receive your message. His engagement metrics might be measured in quiet tears or silent commitments rather than comments or shares. This created an intense internal battle whenever I created content. Should I make this more entertaining or more truthful, more clickable or more impactful? The constant tension was exhausting. But here's where it gets interesting. There was this unexpected turning point that happened when I finally stopped trying to please the algorithm. This complete shift in perspective changed everything, not just spiritually, but in terms of channel growth too. Can you guess what happened when I finally threw out every YouTube growth strategy and just poured my heart out about Jesus' grace? The video I was most scared to share, the one with no fancy editing, no strategic hooks, just raw vulnerability, somehow reached thousands overnight. The algorithm I'd been chasing for months suddenly found me when I stopped looking for it. Let me take you back to that rock bottom moment. After months of diminishing views and constantly second guessing myself, I was ready to quit. You know that feeling when you've poured everything into something and it just isn't working? Yeah, that was me. Burned out, discouraged, and questioning if I was even meant to be creating content at all. So I made a decision. If this was going to be my last video ever, I was going to share how Jesus' grace had transformed my life. The raw, messy parts included. The stuff I'd been afraid was too Jesus for YouTube. Have you ever felt that strange mix of terror and freedom when you have nothing left to lose? My hands literally trembled as I hit record that day. Tears streamed down my face on camera. I stumbled over words as I shared struggles I'd never mentioned publicly. Something lifted off my shoulders as I surrendered the outcome to God. I almost didn't post it. That nagging voice kept saying, "This is too vulnerable, too Christian." But something deeper pushed me to upload it anyway. Just a simple title and no fancy thumbnail. What do you think happened next? I woke up to my phone buzzing nonstop with notifications. That vulnerable video had somehow reached thousands overnight. The comment section filled with messages that still give me goosebumps. How did you know exactly what I needed to hear today? This video came at the exact moment I was praying for guidance. One viewer wrote something that changed my perspective forever. The most powerful thing you can do is to be real and share your journey. People connect with authenticity, and that's what keeps them coming back for more. Without realizing it, I tapped into what psychological studies confirm. Genuine vulnerability creates deeper connections with audiences. All those principles successful Christian creators like Vlad Savchuk and Alan Parr had been modeling. I'd stumbled into them when I finally stopped trying so hard. The internal struggle was real, though. Part of me wanted to analyze what had worked to replicate it. But another voice whispered that this video connected precisely because it wasn't formulaic. It was simply real. True engagement comes from spiritual authenticity, when viewers feel that what you're sharing comes from a genuine place. Statistics show authentic religious content performs better than trend-chasing content because people sense the difference. Speaking of authentic religious content, would you believe that praying before planning your videos could be more powerful than any keyword research tool? I discovered a spiritual framework that transformed my content and exploded my channel in ways that made absolutely no sense to the YouTube experts, and the results shocked even me. After that breakthrough video, I realized I needed a completely different approach. I developed what I call spiritual digital marketing, or a framework that places God at the center instead of algorithms and metrics. Here's the truth. While everyone else teaches you to chase trends and optimize for clicks, authentic, spirit-led content actually performs better. This approach creates genuine life transformation and aligns with God's purpose for your channel. Let me walk you through the 3 spiritual principles I now apply before creating any video. First, you start with mindful content creation through prayer. It's like checking your spiritual compass before setting out on a journey. Instead of jumping straight into scripting, I ask, God, what message does someone need to hear today? This simple practice led to my most impactful videos. I once felt prompted to create a video about finding hope during grief, completely unplanned. That video reached a woman who had lost her mother the day before and was contemplating suicide. Her comment, "This saved me tonight. That divine timing wasn't random chance." Then you move to purpose-driven content. Think of it as planting seeds meant to grow for years rather than flowers that bloom for a day. Instead of obsessing over what might get views, I focus on content that serves an eternal purpose. When I stopped chasing trends and started sharing testimony-based content, my engagement metrics improved dramatically. Finally, you embrace what I call sacred space creation, crafting videos that position viewers to encounter God's grace. This means including moments for reflection, sharing vulnerable stories, or addressing deeper spiritual needs. I created a video about overcoming shame that wasn't polished, just authentic storytelling about my journey. The comments filled with people sharing their stories of freedom. One viewer wrote, "I've been hiding this part of my life for years, but today I'm finally ready to let it go." When I implemented these principles, my analytics transformed. Not just in views, but in meaningful engagement that showed viewers were truly connecting. My comment to view ratio tripled and video completion rates jumped by over 40%. But the metrics that matter most can't be tracked on YouTube Studio. They're the messages saying, "Your video helped me reconnect with God," or "I made a decision to follow Jesus after watching." That's the kind of impact that lasts eternally. So here's what I've learned after everything we've talked about today. The most powerful thing you can do isn't chasing YouTube tricks or obsessing over analytics. It's about surrender. When we surrender our work to God, we open ourselves to His grace and guidance, allowing our creativity to flourish in ways we never imagined. That truth changed everything for creators who built incredible communities through authentic spiritual content. Your journey from strategy to surrender transforms both your content and your impact. So here's my challenge. Create one video this week where you share how Jesus' grace transformed your life. Be vulnerable. Be real. Viral videos are like shooting stars. They flash and fade. But lives change through your faithfulness. That's eternal impact. Your most meaningful success will never be counted in views. It's measured in hearts transformed through your obedience. Stay blessed, my friends. Your most impactful videos for the kingdom are still ahead of you.